Hello everybody, this is Miranda Madison, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Minnesota, and I was working on a color challenge for my team and making some baby cards. That was also the theme challenge on my team this week, and I had a friend that had a baby last week, and so I thought I would use the color challenge was Watermelon Wonder with white or silver or gray. And so I came up with this design, but I also wanted to do it in some more masculine colors or babyish colors, and so these are the things that I'm going to use today, and I will put all of the item numbers and measurements on the screen when I edit the video. So let's get started. Alright, so for this card we're going to be using both the Little Cuties stamp set and the Milestone Moment stamp set. Both of these come from the Occasions catalog that came out in January, and it goes until May. So these sets will be available on my website from now until May 31st, unless they are for some reason added into the annual catalog, which we will find out in just a couple of weeks at OnStage, so I'll let you know if those are staying or not. Okay, so we're going to get started with our image, and this is from the Little Cuties stamp set, and I'm going to be using the basic gray ink pad, and I actually have mine on the way to me right now. I hadn't owned this color yet, but this Stampin' Spot came in the March Paper Pumpkin Kit, and so it was a nice way for me to try it out by getting that Paper Pumpkin Kit. I can test out colors that I haven't ordered yet, so that worked out really nicely there. So we're going to use that basic gray, and we just inked up our little lamb, and we're going to use our piercing pad because we are using a photopolymer stamp set. So we're just going to let that sit. The basic gray is with the archival. We'll see if it'll, there we go, archival Stampin' Spot. And so basic gray and the basic black are with a different formula than our classic ink pads. And so they will say archival at the top as opposed to our classic Stampin' pads. So this is what our image looks like after stamping it on our piercing pad, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Scrub, and I sprayed some Stampin' Mist on that already, so we're just going to wipe that on there. The top part is usually the side that I use for wet, and the bottom is dry, so we'll leave that aside until we're ready for the next part. I'm actually going to do a little bit of sort of watercoloring, sort of I don't have a ton of liquid left in my Wink of Stella, and so it's not going to come out super watery. But we're going to paint the bow on there. And I have put some ink in top of the lid. And now we are going to use our Wink of Stella. And I just shake it up and I squeeze down in there. And if you have ink in here, it'll fill up this barrel here. This Wink of Stella was the first one that I got almost a year ago, and it has lasted me a really, really long time. So we're going to just paint with our Wink of Stella inside the little lamb's bow. And when it comes to watercoloring, you can be a little bit more flexible and not be quite as picky about being inside the lines. I am sort of an OCD kind of person, and so I don't like to go outside of the lines, but we're going to just wipe our Wink of Stella off on the scratch paper there just to clean it out. And that is our little lamb with that mint macaron. Mint macaron is also a color that will be retiring in May, as well as the Watermelon Wonder that I used on the first card that I showed you. And then the other card that I was going to work with is Soft Sky, just to show you a different variation, and I'll show you a picture of that at the end. Okay, the next part that we're going to do with this card is we're going to add the words "Sweet New Baby" on the back of our base of our card. So we're going to open up that mint macaron again. We'll move our little lamb out of the way, and we're going to ink up our letters "Sweet New Baby." Now this milestone moments set would be perfect for memory keeping and scrapbooking, and so that is a great one to put on your wish list. So what I did is I started in a little bit higher than the center just to get that offset look, and now I'm just kind of going around as a background, not really being picky about where I'm going, but I do kind of want to give a little bit of busyness to it, and that's kind of what I'm going for. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, and that is all the stamping that we have today, and so we're going to tighten our crease using my bone folder, and then we will add our embellishment on to our card. I'm using my snail adhesive to adhere the items on my card. I'm going to put some on the back of my little lamb and add it to my little circle piece. Now these circles were used, I cut them out using our layering circles framelits, and I will put the number on the screen right down here below. They are so fun to have, and I have really enjoyed using them. We are going to put on our delicate doily. Now the cool part about these is that one side is whisper white to match our whisper white paper, our cardstock, and then one side is very vanilla, so you can kind of see the difference in color there. This is a more muted, very vanilla is, and the whisper white goes behind it. So we're going to kind of put it on the card this way, and I am using my snail adhesive on the back just to kind of tack it down. When I use my foam pad, I can just kind of brush off any residue that is left. That way it doesn't get on my scratch paper. So we're going to put that kind of about here, where you can kind of still see the words on the side. And now we will, we're going to also put on some metallic ribbon. These are a part of our celebration that only goes until the end of March. So we are literally like just over a week away from not being able to order this anymore. And the cool thing about celebration, we're going to use the silver. The cool thing about celebration is that with any $50 order, you get to choose one of these celebration items, and this counts as one for both things of this ribbon. And so there's tons of it in there. So we're just going to use a really small amount just to give a kind of little fun to our background there. So I'm going to cut probably about, let's see how much it is, about 3.5 inches, almost on the dot. So about 3.5 inches. And then we are going to use some Scotch tape, and I'm going to fold it kind of like that, and we're going to put it back in this corner here, right like that, kind of up that way. And I'm going to get my Scotch tape out and put it down just like that. So that way it's kind of coming up in that little corner there, and we're going to add that right like that with some dimensionals. Okay, now to finish out our card, I'm going to use a new little partial pack of dimensionals to put on the back of our little guy. I tend to use dimensionals more on the heavy side, but it's all in what your personal preference is. I like to put one in each corner, and then sometimes I will put one in the center as well. I just don't want it to sink down into the card, and these dimensionals do a great job at holding it up. So now we're taking the backs off of our dimensionals, and we are going to add that last little bit to our card. So here is the mint macaron version of our... Okay, there we have all three of the different colors. This is Soft Sky, this is Mint Macaron, and this is Watermelon Wonder. Also using Basic Gray for our little lamb, and these are some new baby cards. So I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope you come back to visit me again soon. Thanks!